The greatest step in humanity's evolution is DePol. And this is our goal as volunteers, to build technology that is free from bias and corruption. Tech that enables people to choose their destiny and be responsible for it. And this is why I volunteer 14 to 16 hours a day to implement systems that are flexible and scalable enough to sustain DePol at large scales. And DePol, as our group of volunteers understands it, has the following features. The laws are not time-boxed, and voting should not be time-boxed. Any voter should be able to change the vote at any point in the future. The moment a decision has been found to be ineffective or damaging, the voter must be able to change their vote. And this way, any attempt to corrupt a voter for a vote will become prohibitively expensive because the voter can change their vote at any time. This is the way forward for analyzing, destroying, recreating, and determining the correct eternal principles of laws and governance together. Direct democracy. No representatives unless automated by a signed contract between the voter and the representative. If the voter decides to vote, only that vote is counted, much like in the Cosmos governance. Political parties are alignment on sets of voters defined by a common vote accounting. Their intent is to find options of further alignment in the future as well as for past voting. And political parties can be programmatically formed and detected based on the actual votes, instead of them being based on the appearance of alignment to principles with little accountability as it is today. Eternal voting, continuous voting, gives equal opportunity to create and destroy eternal laws and concept definitions, but we do it together as an evolving organism. Vote, then verify. We have conceptualized a two-step voting process that can ensure voting privacy, allow each voter to verify that their vote was tallied correctly, and allow voters to make their vote public if they want to. Observed governance. We will tackle both meta-governance, which is top-to-bottom governance, and observed governance, which is bottom-to-top governance, in a later slide. Ultimately, in any society, in any group of people who are collaborating, freedom is directly proportional to duty. And these are the principles that we bring into the software that we produce. And now, a small glimpse of how these principles are brought to life on silicon. With meta-consensus and consensus polymorphism, we can implement DePol. And you have seen these two concepts in previous videos. Our Mythos chain has consensus polymorphism. It can switch the consensus protocol by governance, and not only that, but you can create subchains, each with a different consensus protocol. By doing that, you can both observe the independent governance of the subchains and have a meta-consensus process from Mythos to the subchains, and you get a tech-incarnated DePol system. Starting from Mythos, you can morph the consensus protocol from Raft to Tendermint to another type of proof of stake to proof of volunteer effort and so on. And you can also have subchains with a different consensus protocol, and you can have DePol rollups that you can use for voting, and that can rejoin their state with the main chain or with a subchain. You can create your own DePol chain for the topics and use cases that you want. And the Mythos ecosystem itself can have elastic scaling through this mechanism of creating subchains, rollups, and forks with tight integration and cross-chain communication. This is the polymorphic landscape, and any of these consensus protocols can be implemented as a WebAssembly contract and be part of the consensus family on Mythos. From proof of authority and proof of leadership to proof of stake, like any Tendermint-based chain or the current Ethereum chain, proof of work like Bitcoin, other types of Byzantine fault-tolerant protocols like Avalanche's Snow protocols, proof of effort like Mythos, proof of engagement like T-Grade, proof of existence, and so on. And through this polymorphic consensus, Mythos becomes a universal block factory that can aggregate the subchain's observed governance and can take governance decisions dependent on the governance performed by the observed chains. This is the bottom-to-top approach. But aggregating governance enables the discovery of common principles that are generally accepted, and you obtain meta-governance on eternal concepts. Ultimately, we obtain scalable, provable voting, using phones and watches to vote and verify that your vote was tallied correctly. So a two-step process: vote and verification of vote. And this requires using provable and unique forms of identification, and Mythos has support for European electronic IDs. Voting with full temporary privacy or even full transparency as defined by smart contracts. DePol is a movement, tech, platform for discovering eternal values in a continuously moving and evolving system.